I do have one more question, sir.
Yes.
Would you happen to know if this plant is part of the arrangement of tea plants? Is this something to be brewed into a tea?
It can be, yes. Would you like some?
Very much so.
We have a few sachets of the tea at the little hut over there.
Oh, I kind of just looks over at the tea hut.
More like a little tea pavilion. But,
Pagoda.
I'm about to lose a lot of money on tea.
Well, if you need more discs, you can always ask.
I should be fine.
As the old gardener will beckon you over to follow.
Me holding her sand will, follow along because she's nothing better to do. And now she's distracted by tea.
I'll be back in a moment. I just need to go to the toilet quickly.
I
I mean, look at this. There's like these little crystals in here. If you look really closely, it catches the sun. Is all sand like this?
Not all, but a lot.
You can see why you can make glass out of it, but I wonder how you get it so smooth.
Like I said, I believe you have to melt it in very hot fire.
I don't have any fire, but someone else does. Someone who graces the night in their mysterious ways and protects the city from danger.
Or we could visit the glass blower.
Oh, that could be true, too. Yeah. Maybe I don't need to do that. Yeah, nevertheless.
Meanwhile, elsewhere. Last time we were with Kelrith, a bright light had suddenly begun to illuminate almost blindingly from above the shrine.
Yes. I'm gonna explode.
Yay!
She does shield her eyes and look up at what's causing the light, though.
You kind of look up, though. You have to kind of squint to even try. As kind of bright blue light kind of shines down upon you. What in the world is causing it? You try to focus your eyes, seeing very little there. As you suddenly hear kind of this loud, almost otherworldly hum kind of emanate.
It's charging its laser.
Chorus?
Yes.
One, it is a beautiful sight you can see, though, looking at it. It looks absolutely beautiful, the light.
I can see the rainbow.
But also, can you make me a perception check and a will save?
Oh god, which do you want first? Does it matter?
Doesn't matter.
No, I'm already on skills, you can have perception first. Okay. And my will save? Ugh, that is not good. So 33 perception, nat 20, and 11 will save.
See God, your heart explodes.
Yeah, I see everything, but I cannot comprehend what I am seeing.
It's absolutely beautiful what you're witnessing above you right now. Yeah. Yeah, it is absolutely, it takes your breath away, just kind of, you're not sure what this is, but it looks beautiful. You can also hear, though, your ears kind of twitch for a moment as you hear nearby, somewhere nearby, you're fairly sure you heard the voice of someone, though, say something. Definitely not, you don't know who it was, though. You heard someone speaking nearby.
Could I make out what they were saying?
Sounded not really. It sounded like gibberish to you, though. I mean, gibberish. I suppose almost sounded chant-like, though. Maybe a spell.
Could I make out where it was coming from?
You know the direction it came from?
Was it the big fucking light?
Yes, was it
No.
the big fucking light?
No. It's not that high up. It sounded like it kind of came from behind the big light. Like behind the shrine.
Well, assuming I'm not completely mesmerised by the big fucking bright light.
It is pretty damn mesmerising, though you can still move, but though you really don't feel like attacking right now. Kind of feel very calm.
But she, as calm as she may feel, she is still a cat. She is still curious. And she'll sort of half keep an eye on the mesmerising light as she sort of walks around to the back of the shrine.
Like mesmerisingly almost changes colours It's beautiful.
As long as it stays happy colours, all is good.
I mean, it's not charging from a big red laser, so you seem to be fine. As you kind of start walking around the side of the shrine, you hear rustling. Yeah, there's definitely someone here. There's definitely someone here. You just, as you kind of get around to the back shrine, you don't see anyone, but you're fairly sure you just heard them move.
Hello? Who's there? She's sort of slowly edging towards where she heard the noise, the rustling come from. She's not trying to hide herself or anything. She's genuinely looking curious. And she just, yeah. Is someone there?
You kind of do so. You don't get any reply. You kind of go around, you don't see anything. As you realise, wait, is whoever this is like going like round and round the shrine with you?
I turn around and go the other way.
Are you trying to do so quietly? Are you just hoping to do it? You're trying to do it quietly? You're trying to do it quickly?
Probably
What's gonna plan it?
quickly. She's not with the bright calming light. She's not really feeling sneaky right now, so she's probably just sort of zip round the other side.
As you kind of zip around, quickly go around, very quickly catching the other person by surprise who was trying to sneak off from you in the opposite direction. And you end up face first with each other, and in startlement, they back off stumbling. As the person you witness kind of bumbling away from you and over a stick and onto his butt on the ground, appears to be a seemingly a half elven youth on the ground of some kind, holding what seems to be like a small spellbook in one hand.
Sort of thinks in surprise a couple of times and takes a step towards him and says, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to startle you. I saw the light and I heard you.
Which now just goes out, by the way. The light disappears.
Does the calming effect go?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, she said, I saw the light and the noises around there, and I was just curious who was there. Here, let me help you up. She sort of extends a hand to him.
He kind of takes your hand and
She helps
gets
him
up.
up.
He looks very concerned and confused.
You okay?
Yeah, of course. Yeah, I'm fine.
Just out of pure paranoia, because you know what I'm like. Just cursory glance over him, not staring in depth, cursory glance over him. He doesn't have any symbols of he who shall not be named on him.
Not that you can see, no.
Not from a cursory glance, right? That's fine.
Yeah, he appears to be, half elf. You would judge. I mean, if he was in human years, you would say like 12, 13. As a result, he's probably the same age as you, actually. He's a half elf.
I'm only like 18.
Yeah, exactly. My point. He probably is physically about 18.
Yeah.
Because half elf he is. But he looks like more like 13 because,
Yeah, she helps him up. She sort of dusts him off a little bit. So, sorry to surprise you like that. You okay? What were you doing out here?
Oh, I was just exploring the woods and I heard something. That's all. He appears to be dressed. I mean, doesn't really look dressed for traveling. Definitely kind of looks like dressed like you almost expect any. Well, what you basically see any of the citizens wearing up in the town, though perhaps slightly dirtier and definitely someone who's been a lot more out in the woods. His spellbook also shows traces of this being the front cover covered in mud. That might be just where he fell over before and it fell in the ground.
I must admit, I wasn't expecting to see anyone else out here. Obviously, I'm not from around here, but my friend grew up here, and she said these woods are horribly, horribly dangerous if you're out here alone. I'm actually here with the shrine druidess. We were coming out to tend to these shrines, and I seem to have kind of left her behind by accident, but she'll be here soon enough.
Sunny looks very nervous. Oh, well, yeah, I'm from one of the nearby villages, just a little bit over in the hill. I'm not from the bigger city.
Right, that's probably. I mean, I've been in town a few days. I've seen a lot of people. If you'd seen me, you would have recognised me. I kind of stand out quite a bit when I want
Just
to.
a bit. I kind of thought. I briefly thought for a moment it was an actual tiger jumping out at me.
I mean, Kelwis has spots, not stripes.
He doesn't like. He still thought you were a tiger.
she sort of laughs a little bit, and it's like, you're not the first person to make that mistake. Don't worry though. You didn't shoot at me this time, so no hard feelings.
Anyway, I should probably. You are right. It's kind of dangerous. I probably should get back anyway.
Well, are you okay getting back? I mean,
Yeah, I'll be fine.
I suppose it's still quite early. You spells yet? Would you?
It's not that far away. Don't worry.
Yeah. Well, do you mind if I ask whereabouts it is? We're here on vacation. I'm seeing the sights. I'm visiting shrines and such. I might pop that way to see what it's like not in the big city.
I mean, you can smell the sea air from here, can't you?
Sniff, sniff. Yeah.
It's just it's a little bay dash, but just a little bit away.
Oh, right.
Not a lot of us. It's a small village, but
Well, I'll like pop along that way, or if you like, we can wait until my friend catches up, and then I can come back with you once we're done with the shrines or drugs. Also, as we're talking, I'm going to throw down a quick sense motive to see. I'm sure he's just nervous because, sudden tiger, but yeah.
explicitly, there is a tiger here all of a sudden.
That's a very boring sense motive.
I mean, he's definitely nervous, but then again, as you said, like you are a tiger who popped out at him. So,
Or a tiger.
Really
I mean-
more of a leopard.
I mean, to someone who's untrained, big wild cat might as well all be tigers.
A cheetah.
Especially
Like,
given
clearly
tigers
it's a
actually live on
cheetah.
this island. So,
Yeah, that's fair enough. He's probably never even seen like her base species, so it's big wild cat thing. So
here is tigers everywhere.
yeah,
Not everywhere. There aren't that many, but you are living in the swamplands, which is also where they would probably be.
yeah, it's fair enough. So were you just passing through here on the way back, or did you come to the shrine for a reason?
No, I was just on my way back. That's all.
Fair enough.
Anyway, see you around.
Yeah. Take care.
As he dashes off with his muddy spellbook in hand.
Really trying to have a vacation here. Despite everyone's best effort, she is trying to have a vacation. But,
I mean, nothing bad happened though.
no,
Yeah.
but when he is gone, she will like go around the back of the shrine and just make sure it's all in order back there. Who knows what he was doing?
Well, you don't see any giant cult symbols carved into the back if that's what you're looking for.
Well, not necessarily cult symbols, but you know what kids are like for like peer pressure. Oh yeah, go and graffiti the shrine, ha 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 ha. We'll
Well, you
make
also
you
don't
one of
see
our
that back
gangs.
there.
I don't know.
But you don't see that back there either.
That's fine. Just she, like I say, she's trying to keep herself busy until the other person turns up and is like, what do we actually do here?
Well, you do see her make. You do hear the sound of the stick. She was using the walking stick, kind of. Well, not really walking stick. The quarterstaff she had, kind of tapping the ground. She makes her way up the path, now in earshot of you.
Wait until she can see her and then wave and call over. Ah, you finally made it.
I'm sorry, not all of us are like you, where you can just jump down the side of a mountain.
Drugs. Yeah, I've had worse climbs.
I'm sure.
I'm glad you're finally here. Yeah, I guess they get to work. She will fill her in about the Persian she saw there, and it's like just like casual chit chat. Oh yeah, there was another guy here when I turned up. I kind of freaked him out a bit. He thought I was a tiger. But he lives in a little village over that way in the bay. Blah 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 blah. Casual chat.
About this tall, red hair.
Presumably, yeah. I guess
That
you've seen
boy,
him
I
before.
swear. Yes, I've seen him before. He loves setting up. He loves his elaborate use of his magic to try and fool visitors who come to the area.
Yeah, it was rather flashy.
What did he use on you? Was it?
Personally, I'm guessing some form of like sanctuary-like spell. Or it made me feel like really calm and not want to hurt anything. And it was all rainbowy and stuff.
That's more like a pattern spell, perhaps.
Possibly.
Regardless,
He kind of freaked a bit when I caught him.
and that also doesn't surprise me. It's just a bit of a troublemaker. Don't worry.
As long as it's only pranks, it's no harm.
Now, how about I teach you some of those prayers?
Oh yes. Yeah, I kind of know some of the words, but not the meaning behind them, and it's all kind of hollow, it feels.
She'll kneel down with you beside the shrine and start running through it. Teaching the words and the movements and retelling the oral stories of behind it.
And she will listen and try to be a good student.
Won't last long, but you'll try.
Mhm.
Meanwhile, back in the garden, Adeline's mostly by herself at the moment in the more exotic plant area.
Yay, plants.
So you do have you may or may not have Hazel with you.
Probably have the two of them
Maybe.
with you.
Potentially. Depends.
Aspen finds a lot of his spare time taken over and sort of parasiting off your friendly winds and ballooning around you because
It's fun.
Fair enough, and Taste is probably in plants.
Hey, Aspen, it's a spider in that tree.
friend.
There you go. He's distracted now.
Okay, good. Just hope that's actually a spider. Alright.
I mean, there are definitely spiders. Just like the spiders
at-
aren't really down. The spiders, most of the spiders aren't down at ground level. Most of them are like in the trees.
Look at the spider.
Yeah. No, thank you.
Friendly. Big fuzzy, big legs.
Sorry, no, can't, nope. And the winds are keeping
Big
Aspen
clump jump.
at, yeah.
That one,
Winds are
that one's like
keeping
a big.
Aspen at like
That one
3
there's
feet
like a big
away.
chubby tarantula.
Yeah, no thanks. I'm
Physical
good,
G.
I'm looking at trees.
He turns it over and actually gives it a belly rub, and it sort of flails its legs around and is kind of enjoying it. I don't know. No one knows how Aspen does this, but it's
Feel free
just
to do
getting
that
worse.
over there. I am going over here to the trees.
Welcome to bug empathy.
Oh dear.
Adeline, meanwhile, could you roll me a D100?
Okie dokie. 20.
Oh. You notice some of the water rippling along one of the riverside you're on, and almost like a thin layer of mist is starting to form and roll in one direction.
That's strange. Okay.
That's quite
Adlin.
odd.
Yeah, Adlin's gonna sort of float down over the water and just start following the mist up.
Hazel looks between the plants she's looking at and Adeline, and then plant Adeline, follows Adeline.
Yeah,
She
just
follows.
mist is
Yeah, it's a very thin layer of mist, but it's a very thin layer of mist just kind of following along the riverside.
it's following the wind, hover above the ground.
As the mist seems just mist slowly builds up thicker and thicker until it kind of gets into another section of the garden where you realise in this little section of garden, it's like it's like it's very faintly raining over this entire like small section of garden, but only this little section.
Oh, okay. So, I assume
And then
plants need the
and then you can
rain.
hear it. You almost hear this like whisper on the wind. It's quiet, but you can hear like a quiet whisper being carried over the wind in here.
Let's follow it. Because if
Can
I
you
know anything
locate
about
it? That's the
being
question.
that's fair.
Hazel, you feel suddenly Hazel actually grab onto your back because she can fly, but her wings dissipate the mist below her where you're looking, so she doesn't want to flap too hard.
Fair.
So she becomes a backpack early.
You can either try to track the mist with a survival check, or make a perception check to try and locate the sound.
I will attempt to track it.
You will get an auto aid from Hazel.
Okay, so add 2 to this. 29.
You try to track the mist. You never really tracked a cloud before, but
No.
it's not that bad. new experience. As you eventually end up kind of in a back section of the garden where you see the mist has kind of got the heaviest, as you can see what definitely looks like basically just a miniature rain cloud floating over one section of plant.
Hmm.
And as you see standing next to it is, well, a figure which you have to assume, well, like from what you know, there's only one person this could be, given what you see.
Eh,
Is this without a doubt must be the the youngest of the royal family?
oh, that's cool. Hello there.
There's a brief pause as he kind of looks to the side, though he continues to kind of make this almost like whispered song.
Stanley just waves.
But he does definitely seem to acknowledge you as he kind of continues the incredibly hard to hear tune as he seems to focus, just a little cloud above.
Lord Ty, I assume.
He kind of nods slightly.
It's nice to meet you. Fly over and land next to him. What you up to in the garden?
He leaves you for a few moments. He just kind of finishes up the watering of this what looked like fairly sad-looking plant before looking to you and pausing. Oh, welcome to the garden.
Thank you. It's lovely. Been having a great time.
I'm glad you like it.
What are you up to? Oh well, tending for that small plant there, I assume.
Yes. It needs a lot of water, and we hadn't been getting as many. The tree above it had been catching much of the rain.
Oh, okay. Have you thought about maybe, well, coaxing the tree above it to grow away so that it can get some water?
We will, but it will take some time.
I getcha.
He will step off the back of Adeline, but basically remain directly in her shadow, just so like doesn't get seen. And whenever she's trying to hide, essentially, but when she gets the opportunity, she'll duck into a bit of foliage.
The young lord does not seem to notice you.
Yeah.
So, well, is it safe to assume that you were the one who wanted the gardens to be planted then? Or, well, grown more?
No,
Oh,
it was grandmother's, but I've been helping with it.
oh, okay. Yeah, I guess I probably should have guessed. She didn't always like plants and everything as well.
It's peaceful out here.
It is. It's very nice, calming down here. A lot of stuff going on. It's quite a variety. I'm almost surprised that you all are able to gather up the things that you need to grow it.
1,617 species.
That's a lot. I didn't know it was that big. I knew there was
Grandma-
a lot.
Grandmother has been collecting for decades.
Adeline, you
Right,
would
yeah.
see Hazel actually somehow make it out from behind you, duck into the plants, and has circled around behind him, and is now looking up at the tree that's blocking the rain. But also look at the young lord, just
Mhm.
sort of hiding in
Many
the bush, being part of the bush.
Many of her visitors have been, well, many of her visitors often give her plants also as gifts, and she ends up growing them here.
Oh, that's good. I'm glad she's not the type to just let a gifted plant wither. It's wonderful. I'm glad as well. It means the gardens are growing vibrant. Oh, thank you for chatting with me. Uh, anything else that you're planning on doing after this then?
I'll mostly just be tending to this.
Okay then.
We're not particularly needed today, and we're not due, and they don't need me to help them with the song. Not that my sisters need the help.
They are quite talented. To be fair, for someone so young, you seem to be fairly talented as well.
He kind of gives a very slight, not quite bow, but slight respectful emotion, at least for a moment. Thank you.
You're welcome. I call it like I see it.
I try my best, at least, especially with, well, we need to make we need to make sure that we do our duty here.
I understand. Still, yeah. Time and experience will will help you get even better and better at it.
Yeah.
How it goes.
He sighs for a slight moment.
Well, I don't know if it matters for it, but with a 7, but there's a slight glow behind him now as Hazel sort of moving her hands and doing a little bit of plant magic. And just sort of spreading her hands apart and trying to part a bit of the canopy above this plant.
No.
No.
He's not the most perceptive person. Though he does seem quite melancholy. But
If you would like, could you give me a little tour around the gardens? You seem to know a lot about this, and so I'm sure you can well tell me a bit more about it.
if you're looking for a tour, yeah, I can if you want.
Thank you.
Why are you sad? Hazel says suddenly behind him.
There is this slight pause as he kind of looks behind him, confused.
He sees Hazel just sort of weaving various light magic and just looking straight up.
Oh, sorry. I thought she was on my back. That's Hazel, a friend of mine and a daughter of another friend I have. Don't be too alarmed by her odd look.
The
She's a
Gafflin.
cat. Oh, yeah, that. I'm surprised you know that. Then again, I guess I shouldn't be too surprised when it comes to the royal family of this island.
I mean, we're not perfect, but I do
No,
know
but
what a Gafflin is.
yeah, I know. I keep forgetting. It's been so long since I've been back here that it keeps slipping my mind how close to the spirits this entire place was and is. So I I really shouldn't forget that, considering I learned the language of the Fae growing. Crazy. Either way, yes, that's Hazel. She's got an affinity for plants, as I think she might be talking to your tree now, right now.
She nods, kind of, while still looking straight up, and you can see the various branches and the bowers sort of creak and moan as they sort of gently move out of the way.
He's just watching this currently.
You can actually see little balls and beads of light moving between her fingers as she occasionally sends one up and another one comes back down. It's almost like this weird juggling she's doing, but it's a lot slower than what gravity would do. And it's just objects made out of pure light and various things moving and gently moving plant matter and leaves and pushing things out of the way. Should be good for now. Why are you sad? You didn't answer my question.
I'm not sad.
Yes, you are.
More specifically, it seems very melancholy.
It was sad.
Yes, it is, but
Don't worry. Anyway, that tour. Come on.
okie dokie. We can talk more on it. Hey, so as soon as you're done, I'm sure you'll be able to catch up with us.
Trio's cooperative. I'm done.
Cool. Oh, I guess there you go. The little plant should be getting a bit more rain now.
Thank you. He kind of bows towards the.
She doesn't seem to like the bow. Sort of pushes his head back up and just vertical.
He kind of tilts his head at you, but just keeps going.
The family's an odd bunch, I know. It's fine, they're harmless. Mostly. Alright, let's go.
Oh, introducing is important, right? Hazel, Canopy and the Velm Dance, tender of the plants of the Forest of Velm Dance. Far, that way from here. She points towards where the Forest of Velm Dance would.
Oh, right, that's... I haven't told you my name. Adeline Willowpeak, hunters by trade, and, well, now adventurer.
Sylph,
Yes.
you recently came back from the Empire.
Mm-hmm. Been gone from here for about 20 years now? Last I was here was to attend my father's funeral. I don't know if you were not born then. You definitely were not born then.
No.
Maybe your oldest sister would have been, but your grandmother might remember it. I know for a fact she knows most everything tends to go on with the people of the island, so but yeah, I've been gone for a while. Just back doing a bit of sightseeing and well, vacation back home. promised a few friends that I'd take them here, and I thought the gardens would be a wonderful place to stop by, especially after hearing that they've been growing a lot more.
It's very pretty.
Mhm.
Almost as lush as Elm Dance. More so in some cases, but less in others.
But we'll pan away from that for now, though I have updated his bio entry for you two. Meanwhile, elsewhere, Amaya,
Mm-hmm.
you and Cadme are currently entering the tea hut, along with your respective.
Yep.
As the old caretaker kind of goes round to the side and starts to heat up a small little pot.
During all this, Cadme is keeping sort of her ears on a pivot, trying to find where she's getting that sense from. It's sort of it's something she's doing in the background, but not. It's not distracting her per se, I guess.
Any particular type of tea? Would you like that one that you pointed out?
The Royal Serpent Vine. Yes, please.
As you see, he kind of goes and pulls out one of the jars from a locked cabinet. You see it's got this kind of like fine blue powder in it. Clearly the crushed up version of the leaf.
I get why it's called a serpent vine, but why is it a royal serpent vine?
I'm afraid I don't know the history behind that.
Well, I'm sure one of the libraries here has a book on it. It'll make for an interesting evening read.
Unlikely the only one who would know the answer off the top of the head is probably the prince. But
Oh,
I would not bother a prince with such a mild curiosity.
the young man planted quite a lot of these ones recently.
Interesting.
To me, it's never really seemed like much what you'd call royalty. But then again, I think that's more my. I spent a lot of time on the mainland. Royalty over there seems quite different than what the islands here always have.
Aye, your island's royalty, the Empire's nobility, and my own homeland's nobility are all very, very different from each other.
Osgard nobility are quite simple.
In comparison, and I'm sure it seems that way. But there is a lot of things that need to happen before the ever so famous fights and duels can take place. There is a lot of procedure that people don't know or particularly care about hearing.
Here you go. He kind of serves out some. He serves some of the glass of tea to each of you.
Hmm.
I think there was supposed to be something medicinal about it, though I don't remember what. But enjoy.
I'm gonna give it a good taste. And I want to see if
Oh
I
yeah.
can guess what it does for medicinal purpose.
I mean, I suppose technically you go in for drink a potion, make a perception check to try and identify what it does. So,
And here, let's just throw this in there for good measure. Roll a 5.
it's incredibly rich. This tea. It's quite a sharp flavor to it. The smell was sharp, but it's much sharper in tea form. It's not unpleasant, though. It does definitely probably catch you by surprise drinking it. But what is?
And here's where we find out it's poisonous to skinwalkers.
It's poisonous to something, but not any of you.
Yay!
But a lot of plants are poisonous to something. In fairness,
Tastes kind of poisony.
I can assure you, it's not poison.
Well, not to me at least.
But yeah, taking your kind of judgments. Are you two working together or making independent guesses?
I'm independent guess.
Okay. I mean, first thing you both kind of know is definitely keeps both of you quite well awake. Like it's quite this. Like you suddenly almost feel like a bit of an energy coming from it, which is quite nice. Probably used as a replacement for coffee, which is good for Maya's late night studying.
Mm-hmm. Studying. Right.
I mean, that's what Omega spends her time doing, right? Studying all through the night. Yeah.
We all know that Amaya spends her late nights standing in the mirror practicing heroic speeches.
But unfortunately she's always too shy on the battlefield to actually use them.
Yeah. Or it comes out stinted.
Or as a set of growls. But you I mean, you do feel like drinking this. I mean, you do feel like it has quite a nice effect on like the mind, though. In general, like it does kind of help resharpen your senses quite a bit.
Hmm.
Mechanically, you think drinking this might help with the recovery of wisdom damage
Hmm.
if you had any. Increasing the amount you heal from a night's rest. Well, essentially doubling the amount you heal from a night's rest. Which, yes, if that was urgent long-term carers, would be 4 points of wisdom damage in one night.
Oh, I don't
Nice.
suppose we could get. See, my daughter is a bit of a gardener herself, and she would love something like this. Do you think we could get some seeds?
That's not something I can arrange, unfortunately.
Well,
Though,
maybe.
though I'm sure that might be possible.
Hmm. Okay. So I got to ask. There is something powerful residing within this garden. You would have any idea who it is? Seems oddly familiar.
Powerful. Hmm. I mean, I suppose there's a dryad living here, but
I think I might know her.
And now I'm sure we must find the dryad.
We don't have to. You can go do something else if you want. I mean, I get you feel a bit uncomfortable when I get a bit extra, I guess you would.
how about some more tea for you and the lady?
Yeah,
That
sure.
would be lovely, thank you.
And
As
then
it turns
they
out, you have
overdosed on
turns,
tea.
as it turns out, you have another at least 70 types of tea to try.
Mm-hmm. And is this a place where you would like? Do they sell tea in this hut, or is this just?
He can sell you tea, yes.
Then Amaya's probably gonna walk out with a big old box of like 10 gold worth of exotic teas.
It's going to be a lot of small jars filled with tea leaves or tea powders. It's going to be a
Leaves,
bit.
powders, probably a couple of, probably like a tea set, because I know with like if this place does matcha, which I don't know if it does or not, depending on how based off Japan it might be, then might have a couple of specific instruments for it as well.
They do have some tea instruments, admittedly, yes. There's also some teas here you brew straight from the bark.
From bark.
Yes.
Interesting.
More for Amaya to try. Cabby, meanwhile, hey, there's apparently a dryad.
Well,
Nope, you okay, Amaya?
I was going to say after a couple more cups, I was probably just going to, buy the tea and the set and probably go back to exploring garden, probably with Cadme to see the dryad. Just
Cool.
because, well, I'm sure Theona's loving the tea. I'm sure she also wants to see more of the garden.
Tea. Okay, she'll come.
Oh wow, this is a rare gift. I don't often get to spend time with you, Amaya.
Hmm.
This is one of the rarer party combinations.
You're chaotic. I'm lawful. We just don't mesh that well.
I wouldn't say I'm that chaotic.
I was
Differing
speaking out of
ideologies,
character.
but no, okay. Ah, well. If I was a dryad, where would I be? Probably in a big tree, honestly.
Well, either look for either the strangest or the largest tree.
I think I know where to find it.
Meanwhile, as Kara stands up from her, what probably was about 20, 30 minutes of kneeling there in front of the shrine with the priestess.
Her knees ache now.
Yeah, let me help wash some of that dirt off. She kind of creates a small bout of water in her hands and offers it to you.
Ah, thank you. I'm normally not one for minding the dirt, but seeing as you've already made the water, sort of looks a bit awkward.
But yes, that is. Do you have any idea why the shrine was shaped like this?
I'm guessing something to do with the way the wind resonates through the sort of gestures to the opening at the top.
Yes, that was part of the reason. Any other thoughts, though?
He sort of stops and thinks for a moment, slowly the head. Sorry, it's as much as I would like to learn about it, it's not exactly my forte.
That's fine. But yeah, some of the local villagers used to believe that in addition to Kind's other roles as goddess of the wind and goddess of the, well, goddess of spirits, that she would also look down whenever the moon was shining, and so they made this in her honor.
Ah, so it's sort of like the crescent moon and what have you.
Yes.
Huh.
Some of the older carvings that have all faded away now used to depict the phases of the moon across it.
And if they were still here, I can't. It's quite neat. Was there any particular phases of the moon that was thought to be special to her? I mean, I know this looks like a crescent moon. Is that a good one?
It was the
for her,
closest.
or-
It was the closest they could get. They always thought that the new moon was the best time. The point when the moon, you couldn't see it in the sky, is the point when Kind was here with us.
Ah, so she travelled down from the heaven, and the moon disappeared when she did so.
Yes.
Yeah, that's almost poetic.
Quite interesting compared to a lot of other cultures that viewed a new moon as a bad omen.
I have to admit, I'd never really thought about the moon too much. One of the other people in our group tracks its phases quite accurately, though.
She gives a curious look to you for a moment as she's like reading you.
Gilvis just smiles back. I mean, out of character, she's clearly referencing Amaya and her whole everything. But yeah, she's just smiling back.
Anyway,
Look,
Shall
it's
we
not
begin?
her fault. Her menstrual cycle is closely tied.
shall we begin the trek? There are quite a few more shrines we can visit today.
Oh, certainly. Try to keep up this time. Gives like a teasing grin.
You'll be the one having a harder time now.
Well, wait and see.
As you see her walk towards what is basically just a large like bush with quite some thorny plants, she just walks through and the plants seem to part for her.
And Kelvis basically walks or runs over the bush and doesn't touch a single leaf or spike on it.
Until you go 60 feet in.
Yeah, well, yeah.
Which is just probably a quite comical ow. 6 seconds later, ow. 6 seconds later, ow. But yeah, she is not affected by natural difficult terrain.
No, I wouldn't expect anything less from a druid.
Cheats. She clearly cheats. It's not like this person who can just walk across the top of the vines is cheating.
I mean, that's not cheating, because I can only do it for 60 feet at a time.
Clearly limitations undo cheating. But yeah. We're able to continue on. Does Karis just want to head straight to the next shrine, or does she want to make details anyway?
I mean, if it's
You're
passing
free
sort
to
of...
go back at any point.
Yeah, I mean, if it's sort of passing close to the village that was mentioned at any point, she would like to just have a quick look at that, but she's not going super out of the way for. And she's not particularly planning anything there. She just kind of wants to see what it's like compared to quote-unquote city life.
Can Karis also roll me a perception check then?
We can try 19. Ugh. I mean, 19 is not bad, but compared to 33 earlier.
Karis does manage to avoid as she nearly ended up in a snare trap on the ground.
I really wish hunters would be more careful with these damn things.
In fairness, you are just kind of barreling through the bushlands at high speed.
She basically grabs a stick and purposely triggers it with the stick.
As the stick gets suddenly dragged up 10 feet into the air.
Well, at least it won't catch anyone else by surprise now.
But yeah, the cove is somewhat nearby though.
Have a quick look then.